All right, Margaret, let's play a little Let's Get Random. Here we go. If you could heckle your younger self during one of your early stand-up sets, what would you shout from the back of the room?
It would be like, what's with the gloves? What's with the brooch? Like, I love to accessorize. In that early part of my career, I wore a lot of like arm-length gloves, like elbow-length gloves, and brooches. Like, what is with the brooch?
What were you channeling? Give me your thought
I
process.
think it was like, I was probably trying to look like a female comedian. Like what I thought a female comedian looked like. I was maybe trying to look like Joan Rivers a little bit.
Yep.
Who I love and
the
who's
best.
my good friend. But yeah, I think I was trying to be a comedian by dressing like female comedians, but that's just not the look.
You mentioned Joan Rivers. Who else did you look up to growing up?
Paula Poundstone.
Yeah.
Rosie O'Donnell.
Yes.
Also became a very good friend. Brett Butler.
Mm-hmm.
Really iconic Brett Butler. You know, those are all of my real heroes.
Did you have a nickname growing up?
No, I didn't. I never did.
I find that so hard with your eclectic life growing up there. Nothing.
Yeah, no. My Korean name, Moran. Moran.
Does that mean something?
It means a peony flower. You know, those big
Those
cabbage
are my mom's
rows.
favorite. Yep.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Speaking of moms, I was just talking about my mom. What does your mom think about where you are now and your incredible career and everything you've accomplished?
Oh, well, she's like very famous at her assisted living. She's very famous at her doctor's office. And she's my doctor said, this is Margaret Cho's mother. I was so excited. She's so excited because like everybody knows who I am. Very exciting.
Did she way back when want you like married off, grandkids? Did she have a whole plan for you?
She still does. She started a prayer group at her church to find me a husband. And I was like, I'm going to pray and I'm going to get you Tinder app membership. So she's like going to download Tinder for me so she can look at some matches and then start a prayer group for her and all of her old ladies like can get together and pray that I'll get a husband. And I'm like, that's not it. No, don't do that. But I can't control her.
Has she ever set you up with anybody that you've gone on the date?
No. And I think because I don't think we would have the same kind of taste. But there are like Korea, they have like matchmakers where like parents will do that for kids. They will like fully set you up in like a marriage, you know, in Korea. But I'm like, no, I'm not. I don't want that.
I see you with all your animals. Did you ever want children yourself?
I think I may have for a second, like near the time where it wasn't really possible for me to have kids. I thought last ditch effort, might as well squeeze out one. But then, I mean, I don't have the desire to love anybody that much. Like that to me is quite an ask. For when you have a kid, you have to you love them so much that you know, how can you even function? Like I have a hard time even with my animals.
I love that.
So, but yeah, I just didn't want to love anybody that much. I don't have the ability to be that vulnerable.
Do you remember your first tattoo that you got?
My first tattoo was my stomach and my back, actually very, very large tattoos, all done by Ed Hardy, a famous Don Ed Hardy.
Whoa.
At Tattoo City in San Francisco.
Whoa. Okay. How old were you and how did this come about?
I was actually probably 30. Don Ed Hardy had tattooed all of my parents' employees from the gay bookstore. And so it was them that took me to get my first tattoo from him when I was, my 30s, early 30s.
So what was on your stomach and back? What'd you get?
So large peony flowers with
the name.
2 snakes, wrapped around.
And what's the significance of the snakes around
There
the
really
piano?
is none. I just like snakes. I like snakes and flowers. I think it's just like a beautiful, like, it's sort of Japanese imagery. You know, it's that Japanese style tattooing that's like what Ed Hardy's so well known for. But I love the way that they wind around and, you know, the petals are falling off the flowers. It's a really beautiful tattoo.
And what's the last tattoo you got?
The last tattoo I got was actually last year. It was from a guy from Korea named Uzi, who's incredible. And he does like blue and white tattoos that look like china, like a Delft china. So it's like, it looks like porcelain. And so that's on my leg. And yeah, I had a really big piece done by him last year that was just very different from any of the other kinds of tattoos because it's really like fine and delicate and really looks like porcelain. But yeah, the guys from Korea, all of these tattooers in Korea and from Korea are just doing the best work right now.
How many tattoos do you have?
Overall, I probably have around 80 or 90 if you
Whoa.
sort of look at them all sort of separate. But I kind of also look at them all as one. I don't really know. There's quite a few that are not finished that I really am reluctant to have finished because I don't have the time to go back to places in the world where they were started. But I do love the art form.
Yeah, it's sort of a map of your life, if you will. Like, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Margaret, what is in your bedside drawer? You've lived a life, Margaret.
Earplugs.
Oh,
Earplugs, lip balm, because I need to, like, I'll get up in the middle of the night with really dry lips, so I have to get in there. Some, like, cuticle oil. Yeah, lots of different little moisturizers. There's, like, cuticle oil and, like, there's, like, a foot balm stick, because I have the driest feet.
it'll get you.
I have the dry skin. So there's just like that. And then these really, like, silicone-y earplugs that are like gushy, like I want to eat them because they're kind of gummy.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what's there.
Well, because I was asking, because studying to come interview you, you're very open about your sexual past. And I feel like you've gone down a lot of different avenues with everything right there. Do you have a safe word?
Oh, I mean, you negotiate a different one with every person that you're going to sort of be playing around with. I don't really do anything like that anymore. Like, that would require a safe word that's like, kind of edgy. Like I'm a little bit less doing that.
Is there a funny safe word you could share with me? My producer and I were going around like what our safe word would be.
Safe word, like you would, like it's a word that wouldn't come into the context of sexuality. So you would say chrysanthemum. Chrysanthemum was like the one that I had used before.
Not peony, not your favorite
peony.
one. Peony.
Because you might, or peony, either way, but you might, because you might use that. But yeah, chrysanthemum was probably the one that
That's
I
a hard
remember.
one, Margaret, to say.
Yeah.
I was reading, or you were talking about a guy that used to try to light your leg on fire, or he would light your leg on fire. I was like, I would yell, fire, water, like there, yeah.
It was so funny because it was like, how is this sexual? Like, I was like, why? I don't find this sexy or sexual.
You
like,
think?
What is this about? Like, that's why I'm not that involved with all of that sort of like stuff that would require a safe word, like BDSM, which I appreciate.
Yes.
I definitely love a kink, but I also, it gets to the point where I'm like, how is this sex? Like, when does this become sex? Like, I'm like, I don't get that part.
Yeah, the fire on the leg. I was trying to reach deep to figure that one out. If you were reincarnated, what animal would you want to come back as, Margaret?
One of my cats or one of my dogs, or like the animal of a successful woman.
Yes.
Any successful woman's pet, I would
That's
be
you.
very happy. Yes.
Yeah, I like that. Favorite body part?
Oh, you know what? I like my thighs. I think I've got good thighs. I've always actually really liked my legs in general, but my thighs, I think, they're sturdy and muscly, and I've appreciated them always.
Is the high still the same when you get off stage?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it's just this wonderful relationship that I have with the art form that I am still learning so much. I'm still growing. Every time I do it, I'm like amazed. And I think I love it more now than I ever have.
I love that. What do you attribute that to?
I think that I pay more attention to it now.
Yeah,
Gratitude.
gratitude.
And I have gratitude, and I've been doing it for so long, and I'm not jaded. I'm really like, this is a trip because it's like I've never figured it out quite entirely, but I'm still doing it, and I love the craft.
I'm just doubling back thinking about your safe word, chrysanthemum, and then I keep botching. I say it wrong, and my mom bug gets mad. It's not peony, right? You're saying it right. It's peony? How do I say it?
I think it's peony.
Peony, you say it right.
Yeah.
You love to garden. When did your love
do.
of gardening come about? When did you know you had this green thumb? Like, when were you like, oh, I'm going to give this guy?
Well, a lot of plants die. I don't have it. I'm not the best at it. I had whole like gardens of carnivorous plants, which are really hard to take care of, especially in Southern California. And I had to keep them in like a marsh. I had to create like a marsh for them. But what happened was I ended up creating the perfect environment for a mosquito factory.
Yes.
Which I made like horrible. But then a lot of the mosquitoes would be eaten by the carnivorous plants. So it's kind of like, it's
See,
okay.
once again, you don't do anything half-assed. Like if I'm going to have a garden, like you're just not going for the easy plant or
No,
flower.
the hardest plants. But I have a couple of really interesting plants. I'm good with cactuses and succulents, but those are the most like low maintenance plants you can have, But I just love it.
Me too. I just think there's something so beautiful about that. Fill in this blank, Margaret. Aging is what?
Aging is this wonderful adventure that you keep on learning from and growing from, and it's the ultimate journey.
What are you manifesting these days?
I'm manifesting joy. I'm having a good time. Like I have a good time pretty much all the time. And so that's what I sow. You reap what you sow. So
Yeah.
I'm sowing some joy, reaping some joy.
Well, you can feel it. So let's talk about what you got going on. I'm so excited about Lucky Gift. You're releasing your album. Tell me about the title, Lucky Gift.
Well, the song is about one of my situationships, which I actually ended up falling in love with.
Oh,
And
wait, the person or the song?
the person, and then I wrote the song for him, and it was really exciting because it was like the song is basically about when you feel ugly but you fall in love anyway.
Oh.
And it's those like realizations that love is not for the young and beautiful, it's for everyone. And it's that exciting feeling of like being sort of held aloft by emotion, and I was able to replicate that with the instrumentation and the recording and the way that I wrote the song. So I'm really grateful for the ability to do that.
And that comes out on Valentine's Day. I want to
Yes.
tell all of our listeners and viewers watching. So cool. What part does music hold in your heart, like the creating of that and singing it?
Well, I play and sing, do it every day. It's actually almost part of my meditation and a part of my life. Like I'm always on like this journey of learning and growing as a musician. And I play pretty much everything, not well, but I do it, and it's not really for other people. It's really just for me. And so that I can keep my mind alive. This is also to stave off dementia.
Yeah.
So learning a new instrument will really get your mind going in the same way that a crossword puzzle or, because that's the hand-eye coordination thing. It's muscle memory, but it's also like making those connections mentally of like growing a space where you can do something new. So I do that every day.
Touring now with your Live and Livid show. What makes you livid? I feel like you're not livid about anything now, Margaret. You're zen, you're chill, you're in the zone.
I am, but I am livid about a lot of things happening with our current political landscape, with our really insane administration. And I mean, I don't want Elon Musk as president. I just don't think that he should be president. You can't spell felon without Elon. So I'm hammering that home. There's a lot to say.
So if people show up to your shows, what are they going to get?
Well, they're going to get a lot of crass observations about what I think is happening all over politics and social media and everything. So I'm really into sort of talking about what's happening also currently, but also overall. I'm like really pushing for women's rights, for gay rights.
Thank you.
So all these things are really important for me. And, we'll see how it turns out in the end. But I'm concerned about our state of the nation.
Well, the Coop is coming to see you on the road. We'll put
Great.
up tour dates and everything on our website. And final question, Margaret. Here we go. What turns you on? What's moving your needle?
I love coconut cake. I actually have a piece of coconut cake. It's so underrated. People love a chocolate cake, and then people love a red velvet cake. Nothing better than a coconut cake.
What makes the coconut cake great? Because I don't like, it's got to be the perfect amount of the coconut with the frosting.
Right. Like, it's not too sweet. It's just to me, it's a very decadent treat. It's also kind of retro. Like, it's kind of 1930s in a way. It's very fancy in the way that you think of like a cake should be. It's fluffy and high. And I love like this like flaked coconut all over in shreds.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Well, Margaret, I've been such a fan of yours forever. Thank you for sharing part of your journey. You sure have been through a lot, done a lot. You've never been more creative and vibrant. And this is what this podcast is about. I think we're just hitting our stride in our 50s. I really mean
agree.
it. I really
Yeah.
do, with all this wisdom. And so we will see you on the road, my friend. And don't forget, everybody, her album Lucky Gift is out on Valentine's Day. So thanks again.
Thank you.